Welcome back again, everyone. Another week of loners. We appreciate you all being here. And this is episode 157. Run the intro.
Woo! That's my lucky number.
157. All right. We hope y'all are doing well. Please make sure to go jump over to our blog channel, like and subscribe to this one as well, and buy us a coffee if you'd like. Okay, so today we're gonna do why Europe and America are falling out. It's not just Trump. So this was.
I don't know why I thought it said falling apart.
It's
so they're having a fallout.
Yeah, I guess we are. I don't know. We're gonna see, but it literally a day ago posted. So this is like brand new. So we're covering some hot news right now.
Spicy topics, guys.
All right, let's begin.
This video is brought to you by Nebula. Last week, former President Donald Trump claimed that, during his presidency, he told a European leader of a NATO member state that he would encourage Putin to invade delinquent NATO members that don't pay their bills.
They asked me that question. One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you...
Sorry, I just have to say this because I think all these politicians are full of shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they are. But I just find it, I want to say the word funny, but don't get offended, okay? I just find it funny that we are still using this fear-mongering that Russia's just going to come and like blow us up. Are they going to protect you? What? The veil has been removed. I don't understand. Like, people still buy this. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna eat my words and get blown up by Russia. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I feel like we don't really get told what's going on. Like, we're always like. I
ever since I was a kid, it's always like, this person's gonna come for us.
Yeah.
You better vote me in. I'm gonna protect us. It's like,
yeah.
You're gonna be the first man to the moon if anyone comes for us. You're gonna be halfway there before anything happens to us. You're not gonna protect me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna protect me.
That's the reality of it. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Didn't pay, you're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. You got to pay your bills.
As you'd expect, these comments
pay your
sparked
bills and
a
get blown
furious
up.
reaction from other NATO members and restarted a conversation within Europe about the extent to which the EU should be relying on America, with the EU's internal market commissioner telling the media, we cannot gamble our security every 4 years. American democracy is sick. But while it's of course true that a Trump presidency, or even a Republican-dominated Congress, would probably be disastrous for US-EU relations, a myopic focus on Trump and Trumpism obscures the fact that US-EU relations have been under strain for a while now. Biden's instinctive Atlanticism and a mutual interest in defeating Russia have papered over the cracks since 2022. But over the past few years, a number of big, intractable disagreements have emerged, straining the historic relationship. So in this video, we're going to have a look at why the US and the EU are falling out, and ask whether the transatlantic relationship is really sustainable.
Well, yeah, sorry to stop. I think like they probably relied on us for a long time, and they're getting to the point now where it's like we can't afford to rely on them anymore, especially with how unstable our politics are currently right now. Like, it's becoming more and more unstable.
I mean, it's definitely becoming more unstable, more entertaining.
Yeah, but
more unstable.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know. And then I need to see it, but I know Tucker Carlson interviewed Putin or whatever. That was like a big thing that happened
that was
recently.
Last week or 2 weeks ago or something.
I didn't realize how big of a following he has. He has a ginormous following. Yeah.
Of course he does. He's a loony.
Yeah, that's
loony
wild.
Man.
I don't know. You guys were probably like, I don't keep up with all these fucking American politics. I don't blame you.
A lot of the media here is equivalent to like SNL comedy skits.
Yeah.
And
They
you just
literally
can't tell sometimes, are they being serious or is this like a bit?
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah. Sorry.
Before we start, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell to stay in the loop and be notified when we release new videos. So let's get straight into it. As we see it, there are at least 3 points of disagreement. China, the associated rise in American protectionism, and the Middle East. Let's start with China. As you've probably noticed, the US is currently in a sort of Cold War with China, fueled by a whole load of issues including China's unfair trade practices, Taiwan, the South China Sea, and China's growing capabilities in space warfare. China is a rare point of bipartisan agreement in Washington, and while the rhetoric has softened, Biden has in many ways actually carried on Trump's China policy, with escalating technological sanctions and some pretty tough talk on Taiwan. If anything, Biden's stated Taiwan policy has been more forward-leaning than Trump's, with Biden saying on multiple occasions that the US would intervene.
There's been a huge thing recently, just what I've been seeing on like clips of, but they've been like interrogating the founder or the owner of TikTok a lot. And he's like, do you work for... It's been happening still.
Still?
Yeah.
That was like months ago.
He's like, do you... One of the people of our Congress was like interrogating him in front of everyone. And he's like, do you work for the Chinese Communist Party? And he asked him like 20 times. And he's like, no. He's like, I'm from Singapore. I don't have anything to do with China. And it was just ridiculous.
Protect Taiwan, which would mark a significant departure from America's long-standing policy of strategic ambiguity. While the White House tried to walk back these comments afterwards, Biden also invited Taiwan's de facto ambassador to his inauguration, making him the first president to do so since 1979. Biden has also accelerated America's economic decoupling by introducing more sanctions on China and more subsidies for America and its allies, most notably via the Inflation Reduction Act. But Europe and America just aren't on the same page when it comes to China. Europe shares some of America's concerns regarding Chinese trade practices, as evidenced by the EU's recent probe into Chinese electric vehicles. But while most European countries have relatively benign relations with Taiwan, in general, Europe is neither as invested nor as forward-leaning on the Taiwan question as the US. This was made most glaringly apparent in April, when, on his way back from a trip to Beijing, Macron warned that the great risk for Europe is that it gets caught up in crises that are not ours, i.e. Taiwan. This caused quite a...
You're now figuring out that you get caught up in shit that you should not...
That's Europe.
Just, okay, I guess
so
in
that
general.
I don't think, like...
I know. Shit, sorry.
It's okay. We need to think about that as a risk more than we do. Because it's too late now.
I'm talking about since the beginning of time.
That's what I'm saying. But I think the United States has been the number one person who just like jumps into all the different things that benefit us.
Okay, but before America is what I'm saying. A lot of European countries get tied up in other.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you now.
A kerfuffle in Washington when it happened, with Trump accusing Macron of kissing Xi's ass.
So you have a problem. You got this crazy world is blowing up, and the United States has absolutely no say. And Macron, who's a friend of mine, is over with China, kissing his ass. Okay, in China.
Do you see what I mean by SNL skit?
When you hear him talk, it's like, it's almost like, wow, this guy really just says whatever he wants. Yeah. And I think that's why people like him.
Yeah, he's easy to... You don't gotta guess what his intentions are.
He doesn't sugarcoat. Yeah.
Yeah. But what was actually most notable about this episode was how few European politicians explicitly disagreed with Macron. The only notable figure was Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, who's since been replaced by Macron's best mate Donald Tusk. And the muted reaction from the rest of the EU suggests that, while Europe of course cares about Taiwan, Europe's priority is de-escalation. And they don't like the bellicose sounds that sometimes come out of Washington, especially because they worry it's distracting NATO's largest member from Ukraine. The second point of disagreement is protectionism, which is on the rise in the US. Again, this is one of the few things Democrats and Republicans agree on, because it's seen as a response to both China and the decline of American manufacturing, which are both bipartisan issues. Again, while Europe is also showing more interest in protectionism, it's not as committed to so-called onshoring as America, mainly because, well, Europe just can't do economic self-sufficiency like America can. Unlike Europe, America has a massive pre-existing industrial base, a booming energy industry, and access to lots of the minerals critical to the energy transition. Europe also doesn't have as wealthy a domestic market as the US, So they still need export markets like China to fuel demand. But perhaps the main thing is that, because the dollar is the world's reserve currency, the US can also borrow way more money for stuff like the Inflation Reduction Act, which could cost upwards of $1 trillion. Conversely, rising borrowing costs and weak growth are forcing Europe to rein in its subsidy programs and even return to austerity. This is one of the reasons Europe reacted so furiously to the IRA. Not only was Europe not included in the preferential treatment clauses because the EU doesn't have a free trade deal with America, but more pertinently, the EU knew it just couldn't compete with America's subsidies. The final point of disagreement is the Middle East. There's always been an uncomfortable transatlantic asymmetry over the Middle East, because America has more influence in the region, but Europe is more affected by negative externalities, i.e. when the region is destabilised, it's Europe that's most affected by the subsequent uptick in
That makes
migration
sense.
and often terrorism.
I have seen a lot of things about migrants coming into Europe, and it's happening now. If you look at videos in New York, there's like a ton of immigration just coming in. Like
They're coming from South America.
Yeah,
They're
mainly.
not coming from the Middle East.
So I'm guessing that in Europe you probably get a lot more Middle East like refugees and people like going over there that need like a safe haven, I feel like. And we get a lot of the South American here, yeah.
Yeah, but they would. I think it's just different. The ones here were in Texas, and then they just. I don't even know what weird agreement they had, politicians.
To open up to New York?
They were dropping them off like by the busloads.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't even think-
they shut down a school so they could sleep in there.
I think those are, not to be ignorant, I think it's apples and oranges what's happening.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I don't know the reasoning. It just seems very...
Different.
Yeah, also, I don't even think New York... I can't remember if it was the governor or something that... I can't remember if they approved
I think they
seating
did.
so many. Yeah, because
I think
I
they
know
did,
a lot of
yeah.
the locals are pretty upset about it.
They are. That's what they were talking about in a lot of the
But-
videos that they were making about it. Like, because it's kind of like there's journalists now on
Because there's so many
YouTube.
homeless people there. It's
Yeah,
like you're
exactly.
Just setting them up to probably fail. You might help them right now, but eventually they
Well,
could easily end up homeless too.
That's one of the biggest issues that they were talking about with it is like, what about the currently existing homeless population? Like, they're saying like, shouldn't you help the people who are already here rather than use supplies that could be used for the people that are from here, but people coming in?
That's true. I do remember reading a lot of like locals were upset because they said that they were housing them, they were feeding them.
Yeah.
And humans are humans. Like, definitely, I think.
Of course.
If we have the means to do so, but why are other people suffering too?
Yeah, that already have been like existing and suffering here in this country that are like from here. Yeah, I don't know.
We are just.
Yeah,
We're just twisted in every possible way. I don't know. The math never maths.
This tension has become apparent with Gaza. While Europe is, of course, more pro-Israel than the global median, many EU leaders are angry with America for failing to de-escalate the conflict,
Facts.
as evidenced by Josep Borrell's slightly astonishing comments this week.
How many times have you heard the most prominent leaders and foreign ministers around the world saying too many people are being killed? President Biden said this is too much on the top. It's not proportional. Well, if you believe that too many people are being killed, maybe you should provide less arms. Everybody goes to Tel Aviv begging, please, don't do that. Protect civilians. Don't kill so many. How many is too many? Which is the standard? But Netanyahu doesn't listen to anyone. They are going to evacuate. Where? To the moon? Where are they going to evacuate these people? Stop saying please and doing something.
One of the structural reasons behind this tension is energy. Thanks to the shale boom, America is now one of the world's biggest hydrocarbon producers and exporters. This means America has less of an incentive to maintain stability in the region, because it no longer needs the Middle East's oil and can generally tolerate higher energy prices. In fact, during the pandemic, Trump actually stepped in to stop a price war between Saudi Arabia and Russia, because low prices were threatening American producers, much to Europe's irritation. This is also one of the reasons why Europe is generally keener on rapprochement with Iran, which would otherwise be a major natural gas supplier to the EU. So, where does the transatlantic relationship go from here? Well, Trump could be the nail in the coffin, especially because the Trumpist isolationism in the Republican Party shows no signs of abating anytime soon. Nonetheless, there's cause for cautious optimism here. The relationships...
I do think if Trump gets elected again, we're going to see a strange time.
Wow, such a man of many words. Now we're gonna see a strange time. It's been weird for
I feel like it's gonna boost his ego to feel like I can do whatever the fuck I want because I won again. Look at how much these people want me back. It's gonna like boost him up again, even more than he was the first time.
I mean, yeah, I'm worried for Trump to... I honestly feel like he has a pretty good chance of winning.
I do too.
I think it's insane that he's able to even run. That's fucking...
After January 6th, yeah. Because
yes.
they were trying to argue that like he shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, he shouldn't. There's a couple states that have already taken him off the ballot. Granted, those states are blue anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. But
yeah.
It's just... I don't know. I'm pretty pessimistic when it comes to stuff like this at this point. It doesn't feel like... It just... I don't know. Everything you're told to do, everything you're kind of shamed for not doing enough of, and then you show up, and then it's like, actually, we're still going to do what we want, so fuck you.
Yep. It is really like that. There's... Nothing is followed through with.
Yeah, it feels like everyday citizens are in like a toxic relationship with the government.
It's very true. It is really true.
Survived the first Trump presidency, and the two have overcome their differences before. Ultimately, only time will tell. But perhaps the headline takeaway from this video is that Trump isn't the only threat to the transatlantic relationship, and it would be a mistake to slip into complacency if Biden survives 2024.
Also, survives is strong because we mean physically, not just makes it...
What a choice of words.
Well, fucking Biden's shit too.
Yeah, he is, to be honest. I thought it was going to be better with him in office.
I didn't expect much, but I expected more than he's providing.
Yeah. I mean, that was a good video. I mean, it was a very like informative video. It was by like a news station, I guess, the EU news station.
Was it?
Yeah, TLDR News EU.
Oh, I thought they just made their own little...
It seems more like a little like modern news type of thing. Yeah. But yeah, interesting video. I just feel like most other countries are kind of being like, we're over being partners with these people because of the choices that we're currently making and how we're not wanting to show any sign of progress.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. I'm trying to catch my words to see what I'm
saying. It sucks because the majority of
but
people here agree with other nations about how we're handling things all the time.
Yeah.
But
like we need to move
our own
in.
Government they just know so much better than us, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, interesting video. I will say, I feel like I learned a little bit. I'm also just afraid of what's going to happen with our future here because who knows? Honestly, who knows?
No, yeah. I feel like we're always taught to like plan for the future, and I don't know. I'm not saying there's no point to, but things change so rapidly in the world that it feels like, what's the point of planning more than like 3 months ahead or 6 months ahead?
It's kind of true, actually.
Just getting to that point before you plan the next few months. I think that's something COVID taught a lot of us.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe that's already been like 4 years now.
Has it?
About 4 years since that happened.
Shit.
Yeah, that went by so fast. So fast.
What the fuck?
I know. If you enjoyed the video, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Also,
that's high school.
I know.
That's literally your whole high school experience.
I know. It's wild. Time is starting to feel like it's slowing down now, but it doesn't feel better.
Does not feel like it's slowing down
compared to those pets. Well, maybe just because in retrospect, but I don't know. Make sure to jump over to our vlog channel also, guys. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.